Howdy, everybody.
How is everyone?
Sorry for the quick change, but you know how it is. Life intervenes.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
Well, I didn't know we were doing that. I would have worn green. Frickin' frick.
Well, it's St. Patty's Day. We shouldn't have had to tell you.
I am part of
this today.
Shenanigans
I didn't realize
squad.
it was actually today.
It is today.
Yep.
So, happy St.
I
Patrick's
bring
Day.
it's tomorrow because at work it's tomorrow.
And top of the morning.
Really? Oh, okay.
Oh, thank you, Sherry. Hello, Sherry and Gloria and Amy and Paula,
Laura,
Michelle, and Laura. It's good.
Yes. How are all of y'all this evening? I hope
There we go.
There you
Last minute change.
Hello, Gloria. How are you?
In a pinch, you can do anything.
There you go. Yes.
Yes.
I hope everyone's had their corned beef and hash today.
I hope so.
Yep.
I had my weenies.
You had your
Hey, Kivia.
Hello, Kivia. Thank you for being here this evening.
Mr. Cocktail doesn't like it when I call him a weenie.
And there's Darcia. How are you, sweetheart?
Hey, Darcia. Wow, it's good to see everyone. I'm glad you found your way over here. I'm sorry we had to do a quick stage change.
Yes.
We are with you guys, and we are definitely happy to celebrate St. Patrick's Day with you.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
So if you can share us out, we'd appreciate it. That would get the word out that we are here on Maureen's channel.
Yes.
Hi, Sam.
Hello, Sam. How are you?
We are doing great today, Paula. I'm hoping my blood sugar holds out for the whole episode. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers
She's been having a battle here for the last few minutes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I've had enough orange juice. I'm going to tell you, don't need no more. Yeah. Not happy about it, but I'm doing my best.
Good.
So we'll see how it holds out. I am doing good, Darcy. I hope you are too.
Yes.
I hope everybody's having fun. I hope you watched some parades yesterday.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Yes.
I watched them on YouTube. I got to watch them when they turned the Chicago River green. That was cool.
Wasn't that cool? Oh my goodness. I didn't know they did that.
I enjoyed watching it. I got this. It's the boats. The boats go up and down the river, and they spew out the food coloring, and they turn the green. So that's fun.
Got to take a lot of food coloring.
Don't you know it? Don't you know it?
And but it's not a dark.
No, they did that.
Oh, I knew they did, but it's a bright green.
Yeah.
So
it was pretty.
I enjoyed watching them do that, and I did watch several parades.
Yeah.
Not just one. I had to bounce between channels and watch different parades, so that was a whole lot of fun.
Well, now I feel like I need to go get some green food coloring and turn my beard green.
Yeah, you should. You really should. You should.
You can.
So I will give you guys a little bit of history of this before we dive right in. So St. Patrick's Day is observed each year on the anniversary of St. Patrick's death. It is believed to have been on March 17th, 461. The celebrations began in Ireland around the 9th or 10th century. For many years, the celebrations were primarily religious. In fact, you may be surprised to learn that up until the 1970s, Irish laws mandated that pubs be closed on Saint's Feast Day. And in fact, the first St. Patrick's Day parade took place in America, not Ireland. The event held in 1601 in what is now St. Augustine, Florida. About a century later, in 1772, homesick Irish soldiers marched in New York City on St. Patrick's Day to honor the Irish patron saint. Enthusiasm for
Oh, how
St. Patrick's
neat.
Day parades in major American cities like New York, Chicago, Savannah, and Boston only grew from there. Aside from parades, another famous American tradition is the annual dyeing of the Chicago River on March 17th, which began in 1962 after city workers used a green vegetable dye to trace sewage and realized it would make a great way to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. While St.
That's
Patrick's while St. Patrick's Day was once celebrated mainly by the Irish, today many people from all backgrounds participate in the festivities, and many areas have their own local traditions, such as parades, food, music, and parties. The day is often a celebration of Irish pride, but it started out as a religious holiday. Here's,
I did not know that.
here's your tidbit about St. Patrick's Day.
That's super cool.
I
That
think
really
it's
is.
I think it's neat. So it's a green vegetable dye that they use.
Huh.
I
Well,
find
that's
that
great. I mean, yep.
it fascinates me that it started out as a religious holiday, and that
Mhm.
it was the Irish immigrants here that
Right.
started the march, and that it didn't start in Ireland. So that fascinates me. I don't know if you guys are fascinated by history, but I am. So
Yeah.
Oh, I love
I'm most
history
fascinated
too.
by the fact that like bars were supposed to be closed and stuff, and then
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
over here we find it a good reason to drink and just diet green.
Yeah.
you know, Michelle, hey Nifty, I
Hello,
looked into
Nifty.
that to see if it affected the fish, and it does not affect the fish. However, not many people are known to fish in the Chicago River.
I wouldn't think you'd want to.
I don't
Yeah.
think they do. They don't really eat the fish out of the Chicago River.
Mm-mm.
But, it's a green vegetable dye, and it doesn't affect the
Environment.
environment. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So that's a good.
It's to the rest of the pollution that does that.
Yeah.
No, it's everything else that affects the environment. Yeah,
Wow.
but it's
Mm.
pretty fantastic to,
Yeah.
read the history of it. It's really interesting. Like there's no snakes in Ireland. I find that fascinating.
Really? I'm
Yes.
so moving
Really?
to Ireland.
Me
There are no
too.
snakes in Ireland.
I don't have
Why?
a problem with snakes, actually.
They're not indigenous to the country.
Wow.
They say that St. Patrick chased them away. I
They just don't like green beer.
I find it
Good.
fascinating. Just if you read your history, you will learn so much, and it will really get you interested. And there's a lot of giggles, and there's a lot of sadness, but it's really cool. Hello, Ada. It's good to
Hello.
see you. But y'all aren't here to hear about.
Hello, Ada. How are you, sweetie?
Y'all are here to learn how to write a pattern.
Yes. Yes, yes,
No.
yes.
Y'all aren't here to hear me. I'm no fun to listen to. But
Well, I just want to say thank you all before we get started for being here. I greatly appreciate you popping in at the last minute. I'm sorry that we had to make that big switcheroo, but like I said, life happens, and sometimes we just have to make a quick adjustment.
yes,
If you're hiding in the bushes, in other words, lurking, I greatly appreciate that too. All I ask is that you jump in long enough to leave us a thumbprint, because it not only helps me, but it also helps TFF. Hello, Cricket. How are you? We are so happy that you're here this afternoon. Anyone that watches the replay later on, the only thing I ask is that you be sure and leave your thumb and then leave us a comment, because we would like to know who came and picked this up and sat with us for a while in the replay.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Absolutely.
Yes,
if you have an opportunity, please share it out, because not everybody realizes that we switched channels at the last minute.
That's right. And everybody may still be out partying, so
true.
We want them to be able to sure and find this episode whenever they get back in and get ready to settle down.
Absolutely. So I guess without further ado, we can go ahead and share the PowerPoint with you and get started. I'm going to solo it. There you go. That way you guys can actually see it.
So this is not a official. This is what Maureen does to write a pattern. This is how I've been writing since I started, designing my own shawls and hats and things like that, and started finally putting it down to pencil and paper. I did do a lot of research whenever I first began writing patterns as to what it should look like. Followed a lot of other designs. I mean, people's patterns. And I finally come up with this particular type of template because, number one, it is very easy for me to follow. And I do think that it covers in detail everything that you would want to know, especially if you were a beginner reading a pattern. Hello, Maritza, sweetheart. How are you? Thank you for being in here with us this afternoon.
Hola.
So the examples that you are going to see that we give you come from a Twisted Fiber Friends beanie pattern. We felt like it was all right for us to use one of our own so that there would be no infringement on copyrights or anything like that with anyone else's.
Yeah. And the beanie,
there's Shirley,
yeah,
and Tiffany. And thank you so much for being here, ladies.
This beanie pattern can be found in the Facebook group.
Yeah,
that's right.
Nope, we got Shirley too. Hello, Shirley.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Shirley. Okay. We're
all right.
Ready to move. Mm-hmm. So the first thing you obviously want to do is come up with a name for your pattern. Now, this doesn't always happen, right before you write it out. I mean, a lot of times I have kind of skip this step and come back at the end or halfway through to give my pattern a name. But a lot of times as I'm sketching it out, the pattern name will just pop into me. A lot of times too, my pattern names come from maybe if I have just one specific stitch that I'm working with, or maybe the color palette gives me an idea of what I want it to be. So you will want to be able to name your pattern. And as it says here, we'll be looking at the Twisted Fiber Friends beanie, which, like Froggy said, you can always go back and pull that up off the Facebook page.
And apparently Coco doesn't know how to spell today.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Oh, yeah. But we got it in there.
All right. You also want to be able to, obviously, if you're the one that's creating the pattern, you're going to give acknowledgement to yourself. But if you have collaborated with someone, like if I was to collaborate with Froggy or with Coco, I would say that this pattern was created by that person first and then myself. But if it's just me, then of course I would just put my name on there. And as we'll talk about a little later on in the writing of the pattern, it's always a good idea here at the beginning to go ahead and let the reader of the pattern know, number one, that your pattern has been tested, and number two, who tested it.
Yeah.
Now, description of the pattern. This can be as wordy or as simple as you want it to be. Here you can just say this is a beanie that measures 19 to 20 inches. This is a beanie that can fit, that can be high, that's highly adjustable. This beanie incorporates one or two row repeats. This beanie can be made out of various yarn types, can be made with different hook sizes. Just anything that you want to be able to give the reader of the pattern a very good idea of the make and the type of beanie that they're going to be creating.
Or sweater.
And as an example there.
Or sweater. Or
sweater, yeah, whatever it is that you're going to be making. You always want to give a materials list. Now, sometimes I get a little, I don't know what the word is I want to think of, but, obviously you're going to need yarn. You want to tell them what kind of yarn was used to make this particular pattern. Obviously the hook size that you used. But this is where I always giggle a little bit, but you'd be surprised if you don't put it in there, somebody's going to catch it. You're obviously going to need a pair of scissors, a tape measure, a tapestry needle, maybe some stitch markers if you need it. But like I said, you'd be surprised how very picky some folks will get. But you'll see there in the example, when I wrote the pattern for the Twisted Fiber Friends beanie, I used an Aran or 4-weight yarn, and it took me approximately 220 yards. And I also told you that I used a size I or 5.5 millimeter. And I even went so far as to tell you that I specifically used the Bates metal hook. Now, you don't have to get that specific. You can just say, you know, I used an I or a 5.5. You don't have to tell them if it's Bates, Furls, or Odyssey, or just whatever. But you do want to give them some kind of idea of the type of yarn, the weight of the yarn, and what hook size was used.
Yeah, I've been kind of leaning more towards lately listing what's needed, and then
Yes.
as a separate anecdote, adding what I used specifically.
Right. All right. Now, in recent years, this particular category has switched over from being called a legend to the stitch description. But if you go back and look at a lot older patterns, whether they be in booklets or something that you can grab off of a vintage website, normally they had the word legend, and all that is that it tells you what stitches and their abbreviations that are going to be used throughout the pattern. Now, also, here again, the pattern writer can determine how explicit that they want to be in their stitch description. I always like to think of every single word that I'm going to put in there. So I want people to understand that I'm using a chain and that I'm going to abbreviate it by CH. I don't want you to assume that that's what CH means. Same thing with how I abbreviate slip stitch. Not everyone abbreviates it this way. And that's another thing. Not every writer abbreviates their stitches exactly the same. Now, we talked about a week or so ago the abbreviations that are commonly used throughout the writing industry of crochet patterns. But it's, like I said, not everybody adheres to the same type of abbreviations. So, and it was a little interesting to me to see how a lot of folks not only wrote their stitches in abbreviations like, and I have done this myself, and I've been trying to clean this up a little bit, but a lot of folks just leave all of their stitch abbreviations in lowercase, like little h, little d, little c. I was always taught when I was writing down to make those capitals. And so I've been fluctuating back and forth in my pattern writing between uppercase and lowercase. And I decided that I'm going to go back to just be using the uppercase. Not that it really makes that much difference as far as you, the reader, is concerned, but you want to stay consistent in those that you know are going to be looking at your patterns every time you put out something.
Yeah, this might also be somewhere where you want to state if it's in American stitches or UK stitches.
Right.
Yeah.
Gauge swatch. Boy, so many of you, when we talked about this not too long ago, just really hate this little section. But, you know, we've tried to tell you, especially where it comes to a wearable, like a hat, sweaters, cardigans, skirts, no matter what it is that you're making that actually needs to have a fit to it, you need to do for yourself a gauge swatch. Because I also know that a few months back, we looked at that not all 4-weight yarns have the same number of wraps per inch.
No.
So, yes. And we all know that our tensions are not the same. So it really, really is important if there is a gauge swatch given, that you take the time to make a gauge swatch to see how close you are to what the pattern is supposed to look like when you get finished making it. So here you will give something general like a 4x4 pattern. You can provide this in centimeters or inches. I I will readily admit that whenever I make up my gauge swatch and I put that in the information, my testers will remind me, Maureen, you need to put that in centimeters as well. And I do goof a lot in that respect because I'm an American writer. I never think about that. You know, I also never think about the fact that I need.
If you're providing a 4x4 swatch, it's 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters.
It is.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that should be easy to remember. But like I said, I'm an American writer. I think in standard terms. I never think about the metric system at all. But that's why you have testers, is that they pick up on those little bitty things that you need to remember to do. Yeah. Michelle says, for some of us, it is best to trick us into making a swatch.
Yeah. And as the person like actually reading the pattern, that's entirely up to you. If it doesn't fit, that's on you if you choose not to do the swatch. But as the pattern writer, you absolutely freaking have to.
That's right.
Yeah. You have to make a swatch when you're writing a pattern.
Well, you know, and to think of it this way, if I get very specific and tell you that I use, let's say, Red Heart Super Saver red, but you decide to use the Mainstay red. Now, if you remember, or you can go back and look at the video when we did this, the Mainstay 4-way took one extra wrap than the Red Heart.
Yes.
I think the Red Heart, let's say it was 19 wraps to make an inch, and the Mainstay was 20. Now, you may not think that one extra wrap is a big deal, but you multiply that over the number of stitches in a row, and your hat can grow or shrink, also depending upon your tension as well. So if you're given or suggested to make a gauge swatch, it really, really is in your best interest to do so.
Yeah. If you want to.
Garcia says, I don't make swatches. I understand.
Yeah.
Now, in this little section, you'll see sometimes it'll say notes. This is where you give special instructions or things for people to look for. Like a lot of times, especially in my patterns, I will tell you that the chain 1 at the beginning of the round does not count as a stitch. It's just to get you started. And unless otherwise indicated, you do not turn at the end of a round. Now, in some patterns, especially when we're talking about hats, you do need to turn at the end of each round, but most of the times you don't. So it's always nice to just kind of get this done at the very beginning. That way you don't have to keep writing it at the end of each row. Chain 1, do not turn, or chain 1 does not count as a stitch. I mean, that kind of takes up time and it becomes monotonous as well.
I'm a rebel. I turn regardless just because I like the way my hook inserts better.
Shirley says some of the Red Heart isn't even the same, and you're right there. With the ombre collection, it varies. You're absolutely right. The traditional just Red Heart, yarn is a lot thicker than the stripes. I've been noticing that a lot lately.
Oh, Coco's sleeping at the wheel. There we go.
All right. So after you have written your pattern, you always want to give acknowledgments here at the end. And this is where you will give her a shout out. I told you at the very beginning, you want to say who wrote the pattern and who tested the pattern. Well, here at the end, you want to go back and make sure that you give that extra little time to list who, say thank you very much to the following testers, give their names. And if they are a content creator or one who, we see on the YouTube streets, whether they create content or not, you do want to give their name. And if they have a channel, be sure to list it there as well.
Yeah, and even if they don't, if they have an Etsy shop and they design
Oh,
patterns as well,
yes.
you can give their link to their Etsy shop.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then once you've written your pattern, you want to make sure that you have it tested. And I'm going to say by more than one person, and someone who's really going to be honest with you. I mean, seriously. You don't want to have someone take your pattern, find some little nuances or little mistakes and not say anything to you, because you really want to share your pattern, whether you're going to sell the pattern or you're going to give it away for free. You don't want there to be any mistakes. So I always try to at least have 2, possibly 3, if I can catch them, to test my patterns, because person number 1 may not catch what person number 3 did. Yeah. And sometimes it can be something just as silly, folks, as a misspelled word. But you don't want, sorry about that. But even in writing, you want to give as clear and concise and correctly spelled as much as possible.
Yeah. And if there are actual Facebook groups with just people that are there just to test patterns for you.
That's right.
Like if you can't find someone, go on there. You'll find yourself a pattern. I would do more than 2 in that instance, because some may be there for just for the free pattern.
Right.
And might not be as thorough as others. So I would do at least 4 if you're going that route.
Right.
And I think that was our last slide.
Oh,
okie dokie.
Awesome. So do you guys have any questions?
Or comments?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take comments.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a comment. It doesn't have to be a question.
Yeah, we don't mind. Yeah, let us know what you think. That was quick. That's way quicker than I thought.
Well, and even if how do I want to say it? There might be something that you would like to see added into a pattern, that the pattern writer might want, that you might want the pattern writer to cover as well whenever they're writing.
This also shows you that there's a lot of work that goes into writing a pattern.
Oh,
It's not just, whip it up and write it down.
No.
There's a whole lot more that goes into it.
Yeah.
Oh,
at least
you.
There should be. There are some out there that don't test, and you're and then you never hear from them again. You ask them a question yeah, this isn't working out, and then you never hear back. So if you see that they've tested it, it gives you more of I'm looking for a word that I can't think of, but
well, let's say that I got one of your patterns, Coco, and I'm working on it and I don't get a response from you, but look, she said so-and-so here tested the pattern. And if you've given me a way to contact her, then I can contact that person and say, when you tested the pattern, did you run across this? Is it something that just didn't get corrected, or am I just not understanding how to do it?
Right.
And if you can do that, yeah, absolutely. Not everyone can do charts, because it's not as easy.
No, I don't have a chart writing program.
Yeah, I don't have a chart writing program either.
Right.
If I did, it'd be fantastic.
Oh, yes. Because I love working from a chart much more than the written text. But, like I said, I can't do the charting part of it.
Yeah, I haven't done that. But another thing you can include, what I like to include, if there's a complicated or a multi-stitch stitch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Include a little picture of it. next to it, like see image, whatever. So you can actually see what it looks like and like see like,
what the finished stitch should look like.
Yeah.
And that's why, like in my legend or stitch description, I will walk you through what it is you're supposed to do. I mean, like if you're supposed to yarn over before you put that hook in through the loop, I will tell you, yarn over, insert hook, pull through, yarn over, insert hook, or yarn over, insert hook, pull up a loop. I'll tell you how many loops are on the hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through, tell you how many loops are still left. I have some people said, Maureen, that's a little redundant, don't you think? And it's like, nope. I always go back to thinking about, it was an exercise I had in an English class where I had to tell someone how to brush their teeth. And I mean, you would think it'd be really easy. You just get the toothbrush, you put the toothpaste on there, and you brush your teeth. Well, where do you find the toothbrush? Where did you get the toothpaste? Where are they located? So I just pick up the toothbrush, and here's the toothpaste. How do I get it from the tube to the brush? You know what I mean? You have to think about every little minute detail in performing the task. Hello, Michael. How are you?
Michael. Some people will include photos showing you the difference and how it's supposed to be. We can do that too.
Yes.
Like with specialty stitches, step by step of the photos. But charts is another story because that requires specialty software. That is on the expensive side.
Yep.
It's good to see you, Michael.
Yes, it is. I'm so happy you're here.
Yeah. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to find one of my patterns to see exactly how I write. Because I think even in my legend, if I'm not mistaken, I actually like, for something as simple as single crochet, I'll not just put, okay, this equals this. I'll put how to do it. Every freaking stitch.
Right.
How do you rate your pattern on skill level?
Yes, we meant to put that in the...
that's in the PowerPoint.
Did we put it in? I just didn't read it.
We didn't put down how to rate it on skill level.
I think anything beyond double crochet is maybe intermediate. Anything with single, double is beginner.
Right.
But if it's something like, because I am so detailed in how to create the other things, I'll say, okay, it's this, but a beginner can do it.
The Criterion Council does tell you what would be considered beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So you can go by them. Hey, Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. How are you, sweetie?
Hello.
You can go by the Craft Yarn Council and they will tell you how to do that. But Coco is correct. If you go beyond the simple stitches, then you are into intermediate land.
Right.
And a lot of your patterns are going to fall into intermediate.
Yes, they are.
When you get into your intricate shawls that have a lot of different stitches, then you're looking at advanced. Sophie's Universe is considered advanced because of multiple different stitches. That's an advanced skill.
Yeah. I did find one of mine. Let me just share it real quick.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, so I did lie. Apparently, I'm not as fancy with like the basic stitches, but anything like beyond that, I give a full description in my abbreviations. Apparently, I need to change what it's called because apparently that's not what you call it. I wasn't sure. I was new to pattern writing at the time, and these are the types of images I provide with. So anything extra you can add.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
Very good.
That's a beautiful pattern, by the way, guys.
Thanks.
I hate dead space. Anyway. Great questions. Absolutely great questions.
Yes.
Do we have any
off
more?
Topic, but my sock is doing weird things around my pinky toes. I'm going to fix that right now.
Oh, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
I encourage.
Space, though.
I encourage anybody to try any pattern and take it one stitch at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anybody should try any pattern, just take it one stitch at a time. That's it.
That's right.
Doesn't matter to me what pattern it is. If you do it, just take it one stitch at a time, you can do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're never going to
And
know
when
until you try.
sorry.
No,
ahead.
you're fine.
Yeah, when I choose testers, I like to pick one, at least one from each skill level,
Yes.
just to see how they make out.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always here to answer their questions, whatever questions
Right.
they have. You know, you have to be careful with your testers because you don't always get good feedback.
And that's why I always go with a minimum of 3. Now, I have on some of my more difficult patterns gone as far as 5 testers that were willing to test for me. And wow. I mean, I was getting, like I said, you know, what tester number 1 was able to understand, tester number 3 over here was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So if just one of my testers has, if just one out of my 5 comes up with a question or they don't understand how to make a stitch, then I know I need to go back and take care of just that one person. Whoever buys or takes my pattern, I want everyone to understand what it is that I'm wanting them to do.
Yeah. You either need to like reword it so that everyone understands it, or bump up the skill level.
That's right. That's
Hi,
right.
Ivy, and that is correct. It does run you about $20 a page, sometimes more.
Yes, it does.
You were scared to give feedback because you didn't want to criticize. That's not the point. You have
to
give the feedback or you're not helping the pattern writer.
Yeah. That's right.
I have never been afraid to give feedback. And I tested for a big channel on here. You'd be surprised who it was. It is not Bagger Day. She doesn't use pattern testers. But it was a big channel on here who I did tests for before I ever came to YouTube. And it was a knitting pattern. And I tested for her because I was on Instagram. She reached out to me and asked me to test for her. And I did. And I was not afraid to reach out and give her whatever criticisms or whatever I did. And it was as simple as spelling check.
Right. I can't tell you how many times Froggy has looked at my pattern. She's like, Maureen, you didn't spell that word correctly. Or she's even caught little bitty things like I'm going to use, only because a half double crochet is my favorite stitch. She said, in the first time you did it, you used capital letters. The next time you used the capital H and then lowercase d and c. Which way do you want to write it?
You have to be.
And she's correct. You have to be consistent in little bitty things like that. One time I forgot the period at the end of one of my rows. And she said, but those are the things that you want to know because you don't want to put something out there that's not professional looking or professional written.
Yeah,
and if you want to test patterns, you are more likely to get reached out to again if you're that thorough.
Oh, yeah.
So don't worry about insulting.
No, I still got reached out to. And I had to slow down because it was so many and I couldn't do my own stuff. Now, when I reached out to people to test my pattern, I did not receive the feedback I needed. And that was not good. So I've learned my lesson about who to get feedback from and who not to get feedback from, because there are people that just want a pattern.
Right.
And while I don't mind giving a pattern out, that's fine. I need people that will provide the adequate feedback of check my spelling, check my technical, the technical parts of it, the spelling, the punctuation, does it make sense?
Yes.
Now remember, I am blind. So me writing up a pattern is difficult for me with seeing it, with typing it out. And
Yeah,
because it's a crochet pattern, you cannot spell check it.
No.
yeah.
So,
And even if you're not blind, sometimes you just spelling mistakes get past you because you're too close to it. You need
Oh,
someone
yeah.
else to point that
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you, Ada.
That's awesome to know.
That is wonderful to know. You have to be, when you want to be a pattern tester, you need to be very thorough. You need to read through the pattern. You need to work through the pattern. And you need to read through the pattern again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just
So,
because you were able to figure it out doesn't mean it's correct. If all that
That's
they get
right.
no negative feedback or constructive criticism back, they're going to send that out into the world as it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, when I read through it line by line 3 times. Literally 3 times. And I check everything, the grammar, the punctuation, everything. And that's just how I do it. I blow it up
Mhm.
on my TV and I go through each line 3 times. And then I will work it up. And then I will read through it again to make sure I didn't miss anything the first time.
yeah. And on another note, as a
Well,
pattern writer, do not get insulted by the feedback you get. They are trying to help you.
no.
No, I
No,
never
no,
do.
no, no.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean, if
they're
you
there to
gave
help
it to
you.
them, yeah, if you gave it to them and said, please test this for me, if they find something, I don't care if it's 1 item or 25 or more items on your pattern. If you're asking them to test it for you, then you are asking them to find the mistakes. You
Yeah.
are asking them to help you to make a better product. So,
Absolutely.
and I love what Ada said. Also, we are always used to our own mistakes. That's
Yeah.
right. Our
Yes.
brain has already been trained to see things, the way we write.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so that's another reason for sending it out for someone else to look at so that we're all on the same page.
Well, we're
Yeah.
all trained to our own shorthand, if you think about that.
Yes.
Mhm.
I know my own
And that's why
shorthand,
I said,
and I could
that's why I
write
said,
it in my own shorthand, whereas you may figure out what I said, but that doesn't mean it's what I need to put in a pattern because
Yeah.
90% of the world may not know what I said.
that's
Yeah.
that's why I
And
said
there's
it's
even an
very
extra.
important to give that stitch description because not all of us use the same abbreviations all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's even another step I like to take before sending out to patterns
Mhm.
is I test my own.
Yeah.
I don't just write it up.
I
I
do.
did this, okay, blah, 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 and send it
Oh,
out. No,
yeah.
I sit down with my pattern and I do it as my pattern says.
I
And
try.
then,
I try to do that, and then I get like going, because it's already in my head. I'm bad about that. But there is something for everyone in the chat and for us to notice is that Ada and Ivy both offered their testing abilities, which is fantastic.
Yes, we appreciate that.
We
I know I do.
And we are making a note of that for later.
Mm-hmm.
That is very helpful to us. You have no idea.
Oh, another thing too is like we were saying how many testers you should get. If you're making like a sweater or something, you're going to want a tester in every size that you're doing.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, it can be more than that.
Every single size.
That's right.
So if you've done a sweater in 5 sizes, you need a tester in all of the 5 sizes.
That's right.
Least. I would try for 10, 2 for each size. If
I would
possible.
try for 2 for each size too, but that's me.
Yeah.
I mean, and in the popular sizes, I would try for 3. That's just how I would work it.
No, that would be a good idea.
You need them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We can't stress how important a gauge swatches and your testers are.
Yep.
Those are like really a big deal. And when you're writing your pattern up, you are going to write down thank you, your acknowledgement, your thank you to your testers. And you're going to put down who they are and a link to their YouTube channel or their Etsy store or their website.
Yeah.
So that
I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys, though. As a new pattern writer, like when I first started, I didn't know that was a thing. So I'm absolutely going to start doing that, though. I didn't know if they wanted their name out there. Like, I tested for her, thinking other people might reach out or they might be busy. So, like, I didn't want to, like, impose. But yeah,
Right.
that's the thing. Like, yeah, definitely.
Now, there are some testers that don't want to be acknowledged.
Right.
And they will say, you don't have to
don't have
acknowledge me, or you don't have to acknowledge my store, my YouTube channel. You can just put my name.
Right.
You know, I mean, there are some people that don't want to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine too. You know, I was just acknowledged as Jay Williams with this big person who did I tested for. But that was fine. But that was how she chose to acknowledge her people. And I understand that.
Excuse me.
You know, and I was fine with that. I had no problem.
Well, and you know, whether you're selling your patterns or you're putting them up on your website or your blog or your Facebook page just for people to have to enjoy, you want to put out a quality piece.
Yes.
You just do. And once people know that they have your pattern and they know that it's written well, they know it's been tested, they're going to come back to you time and time again. And they're also going to drive others to you as well as a good pattern.
It's all about
writer.
your brand. You want a good name for your brand.
That's right.
You do.
Yeah.
You do want a good name for your brand. And you want to be known as a good pattern writer. You don't want people to give you a bad name as a pattern writer.
Right.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, I don't advertise my patterns right now because the patterns that I had written, after going back, realizing that they weren't well written, and I am going to work on them again and fix them and re-release them and make them much better the way they should be. Because again, my testers didn't provide the feedback I needed. But I don't blame them. I blame myself because in my opinion, I didn't tell them what I needed.
Right.
So that's my fault.
And that's another thing. Yeah.
They were new at testing. So I should have told them what I needed. But that's my fault. So I'll get them redone and I will send it back out for testing again and it will get done properly.
Yeah. Another quick note too for reaching out to testers. You like in your brain, you know when you want to release your pattern. So let them know, I need your feedback by this day.
Yes.
So if you can't complete this project by this day, I appreciate you reaching out, but
next time. I'll catch you next time.
Yeah, not 6 months from now, not 3 months from now. I need it by you know, but give them ample time, especially if it's a sweater.
Oh, yes.
You
or
know,
an Afghan even.
Oh, definitely for a blanket. You have to give them ample time. You can't tell them I need this at the end of the week. Unless it's Carrie. Just saying. You know, you have to give them ample time to make it. You know, they can't just do this overnight. They need ample time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Carrie out there be making it rain with crochet patterns.
You make it be rain.
Her and Trisha. Oh my word.
Oh my gosh. They crochet very quickly. But
yes, they do.
You have to allow these people time to crochet. Now with a beanie, they could get that back to you within 3 to 4 days.
Oh, yes. Very much should be able to.
But with the other items, they're going to need more time. You know, with a shawl, with a blanket, with a sweater, they're going to need more time.
Yeah, and if someone reaches out to you and your life just suddenly got busier, don't be afraid to say, "Look, I don't think I can complete it in the time frame you've set."
Right.
Oh yeah,
they will
I've never been afraid
more
to say
than
that.
Yeah.
I've never been afraid to say, "Look, I'll do your testing, but this is what it's going to take me to do it.
Yeah,
it's going to take me longer." You know, because it might take me a lot longer.
Yeah. And you never know. They may have underestimated the time it would take for someone else to do it. And if they get that same feedback from other testers as well, they'll be, okay, well, maybe they need 2 weeks rather than a week for this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You just don't know. So you have to be careful with that. So, other comments. I was just nosing. I'm just nosing. So far, all I see is all I see is Ada saying, "You're very welcome." Well,
And we appreciate that. Really, really do.
You're welcome too. Yeah, I'm not doing anything on my thing. It's just me being nosy.
Oh, that's good. Hello, Nisi.
Hello,
How are
Niecy.
you, Nisi? Ada said, someone said you have to give 3 times the time it took you, and that's probably true.
I would think that's about right.
Yes. Nisi's saying your hat's adorable.
Oh, thank you, Niecy. I loved my hat.
Oh, I don't know. Coco had a cute one a minute ago, too.
Oh, yeah, Coco's was adorable.
Oh, my infinity scarf.
I loved your hat.
Oh, that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here you go, Nisi. Look at this hat.
I forgot to wear green, so I did this.
That was cute.
Now it's stuck on my headphones. There we go. All better.
Michael said, I haven't done regular crochet in 10 plus years, so it take me 10 times the time to do anything in regular crochet.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, he's just been doing what, the tapestry.
Yes. Yeah.
That would make sense. But if I did a tapestry pattern, I would definitely go to Michael.
Oh, yes. Most definitely.
Well, Tunisian.
I'm
sorry. I'm an old school person. I called it Afghan crochet.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Well, the hooks are often called still that.
Yes.
I know you
I
do
said the
Tunisian.
words completely in the wrong order, but you know what I meant.
I know you do. I know it's Tunisian, but old school Afghan and tapestry. We use the old school word. I'm old.
Thank you. Thank you, Nisi.
Oh, wonderful, Nisi. Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
She's moving on up. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting there slowly but surely.
Getting there. She is. She is. Let's see if I have any more information about it. Let's go down. Huh. I already told you when St. Patrick's Day was celebrated. Oh. Yeah, I don't want to have that pop up in there. Sorry. I'm looking to see
nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, would you quit with
Allergies
the
are making
pop-up?
my eyes water today. Whoa.
I'm sorry about the pop-ups. St. Patrick's Day celebrations around the world. People of all backgrounds celebrate St. Patrick's Day, especially throughout the United States, Canada, Australia. Although North America is home to the largest productions. Wow. Let's see. St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in Ireland, including Japan, Singapore, and Russia. St. Patrick's Day recipes include Irish soda bread, corned beef and cabbage, and champ. I don't know what champ is. People often wear green on St. Patrick's Day. I already said it was a spiritual and religious occasion. Let's see. Beginning in 1995, however, the Irish government began a national campaign to use interest in St. Patrick's Day to drive tourism and showcase Ireland and Irish culture to the rest of the world. Oh, here we go. This is good. What do leprechauns have to do with it?
What?
What do leprechauns have to do with it?
Leprechaun. Oh. One icon of the Irish holiday is the leprechaun. The origin for the name for these figures of folklore is Lobaircin, Lobaircin, meaning small-bodied fellow. Belief in leprechauns probably stems from Celtic belief in fairies, tiny men and women who could use their magical powers to serve good or evil. In Celtic folktales, leprechauns were cranky souls responsible for mending the shoes of the other fairies. Though only minor figures in Celtic folklore, leprechauns were known for their trickery, which they often used to protect their much-fabled treasure. Leprechauns have their own holiday on May 13th, but are also celebrated on St. Patrick's, with many dressing up as the wily fairies.
Ooh.
That was interesting.
Yeah. That
Well
spelling
done.
made me do that people's eyebrow, and now one eyebrow is higher than the other.
Now I want to know what champ is. Let's see what champ is, because it's a food. Let's see. Irish champ is a side dish made with potatoes, green onions. Hold up, I lost it. Made with potatoes. Weird. Come on, what else is in it? Come on, tell me where's the ingredients. Okay, it takes russet potatoes, salt, green onions, milk, and butter.
So mashed potatoes with green beans in it, pretty much?
With green onions, yeah.
Oh, green onions, sorry.
Huh.
Yeah.
I guess like shallots, kind of.
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah.
it. Sounds like mashed potatoes with onions and salt and pepper and butter.
Yum.
Oh well, yeah, gotta have butter.
But
Michael says,
champ.
Michael says people will celebrate St. Patty's Day because it is a drunk holiday. That's what we would call the holidays that people drank. Memorial Day, July 4th, Labor Day, in the OR, as I was a surgical nurse. Goodness gracious.
Yeah,
A
I'll
drink
include
holiday.
Oktoberfest in that.
Yeah, there you go. I was getting ready to say.
Surely they mash them. So I guess it's just mashed potatoes with onion, salt, and pepper and butter. Weird.
I guess it's the green onions that make it champ.
Yeah, sounds good, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'd eat it.
Throw a little sour cream in there. You got like a potato skin. Just stuff it.
There you go.
Of course, I'll eat the cabbage too, but that's me.
Me too.
I mean, doesn't bother me. I'm still tickled that they turn a river green.
That was cool to watch. It really was
so cool to watch. The boats going back and forth, and behind them, the whole river just turns green. I love that. Yes, anything with potatoes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw a meme on Facebook once about potatoes. Like, what are all the vegetables like doing? Like, potatoes can do anything. And everything's awesome, you know?
Yeah. You know, we love potatoes. But you know,
Hello.
Hey Cindy.
Hello, Cindy. How are you this afternoon? Thank you for popping in here with us.
And I find out the leprechauns don't really have anything to do with it.
It's all right. We'll let them join the party.
Oh, thank you, Niecy. You like my shirt, Niecy? It says Shenanigans Squad.
I
like shenanigans.
Oh, me too.
We are all about being the Shenanigans Squad over here.
That's exactly right, Tiffy. Our chats always turn to food.
I had to bring the food up. I had to bring up the food. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
If I didn't do it, someone else would. You think it's close to get eating cabbage is an egg roll. I love cabbage. Cabbage is good. Cabbage.
Yes, it is.
You can eat it cabbage, boiled cabbage, sauerkraut cabbage. Oh, cabbage is yummy.
Baked cabbage, fried cabbage.
Just a little step back to Oktoberfest. My Oma used to make the most awesome blaukraut, like the red cabbage.
Oh, yes.
So good.
Yes.
I would so love that. Cabbage is yummy. I could just I could be like all over that. But see, look, we have cabbage now in the springtime and we have cabbage in the fall. Love cabbage.
Yep.
Oh yes. My Oma made lots of good cabbage.
Oh yes,
Bratwurst,
Shirley.
yeah.
Cabbage, potatoes, and bratwurst.
Yes. And she made some good stuff.
Good stuff.
Oh, you had corned beef tacos yesterday. It had cabbage slaw. Yum.
Wow.
I would like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'd be all over that. Yes. I hope you guys are all wearing your green today. I can't tell, but I hope you are. Hello, Asia Joe.
Hello, Asia Joe.
It's adulting done. Oh,
Yeah.
The joys of adulting.
Oh, no. No.
No, I don't want to adult today.
Don't like it.
I don't ever want to adult. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Tiffy's Tiffy's going to make sauerkraut and sausage tonight. That's good too. She'll be right back.
Okay, doke.
I love you
That
guys.
just another.
Y'all have a good day. It's been an hour. Love y'all.
Oh, okay. Well, we thank you all so much for being here. We greatly do. We hope that our little presentation of showing you how to write a pattern will inspire you to start letting those creative juices start to flow, you know, pick up some yarn and a hook, start stitching and writing it down and see what it is that you can come up with, because, you know, there are still plenty of ideas to be had out there. And all it takes is for you to take your idea and make it come true. Yep. So thank you so much for being here. We will be at Froggy's house next week. So we love you all. Have a great day. And remember, be the light out there in the darkness for someone today, because you never know, could be your light that they need to see. We love you all. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Am I doing the outro or are you?
Yes, because I'm Maureen don't push buttons.
Bro's like, bye. We're still here. Let me find the outro.